Long week here in the Bay Area. The Halos took 2 of 3 from the Oakland Athletics, but have dropped the first 2 of this 3-game set against the San Francisco Giants. Today we wrap up this road trip. Hi, everybody, from inside AT Park. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And today, really, if you'd like to flash back to 2010, you'd have one heck of a pitching matchup as far as strikeouts are concerned. But it's not 2010. 2 different pitchers in Tim Lincecum and Jared Weaver.
Yeah, Victor, I love this type of matchup. Both these guys have had to make adjustments in their career. Don't have that overpowering fastball anymore, but both have outstanding changeup. Lincecum, very good changeup, especially against left-handed batters. Weaver, big curveball. Good changeup himself. I think the key for Weave in this game, though, today is to be able to use that no-seam fastball to get the left-handed batters off that fastball inside, then utilize that changeup and curveball. Lincecum's always going to be around the strike, so doesn't walk many batters. Look for him to get one of those fastballs up. If you do, hopefully be able to pull out this victory for the Angels today.
Yeah, you think the key is for him on the mound. I think for Weaver, it's batting in the 8th spot in the order. How about that? He's going to swing the sticks as we're just about ready for baseball here in San Francisco. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich.
Had fantastic weather all week, and I mean all week here in the Bay Area. A long roadie here to this part of Northern California. It went well in Oakland, winning the series there, but here today just trying to salvage the finale and trying to finish up this road trip with a 3-3 mark before heading home to start a 9-game homestand tomorrow against the Seattle Mariners. And Angel fans still here. Got to like that. 427 miles to see Weaver pitch. It's Weaver and Lincecum here this afternoon. The Giants have taken the field. That means we will take a look at Mike Scioscia's starting 9 for the Halos at 11-13 on the season. Eric Eibal will lead things off and play short. Mike Trout in center. Albert Pujols back at first base. Cole Calhoun remains in that cleanup spot in right field. David Freese at third. Matt Joyce in left. Johnny Giavotella at second. There's Jared Weaver, the pitcher spot, batting eighth. Chris Inetta back behind the plate. He will bat ninth and do the catching. They're taking on the 30-year-old right-hander, native of Renton, Washington. His name is Tim Lincecum.
He has 16 punch-outs in 22 innings pitched. Fastball 89-91. And then also will throw a slider, curveball, and a split-finger changeup. But the keys against Lincecum is don't chase that changeup out of the strike zone. It has a good tailing action and right-handed power. Right-handed batters are hitting .385 against Lincecum so far this season.
Let's check out the defense for the San Francisco Giants. Behind Lincecum, it's Aoki, Pagan, and Blanco in right field today. No Justin Maxwell. The infield remains the same as yesterday. McGee, Crawford, Panic, and Belt from third to first. Buster Posey behind the plate.
Blanco out in right field. His 11th start in right field this season. Has never played in the last couple of years in right field. Pretty good throwing arm. Also made that outstanding play to preserve the perfect game for Matt Cain out when he was playing center field.
There's Jared Weaver. Still looking for that first win of the season. He's ready to go, as is Tim Lincecum. Halos yesterday, of course, lost last night or yesterday afternoon, 5-4 the final, even though they mounted a rally in the ninth inning, just fell short. First one today is cut on and bounced to the right side. Belt with a diving stop. Lincecum covering, and there's the first out. One pitch, one out to start this ball game.
We've seen the Giants playing some pretty good defense in this series so far. It's good range for Belt. Slick fielding, first baseman. Dies able to knock it down. Lincecum in perfect position, cut the angle towards going to the base, make it quicker for him. A 3-1 put out to start the game.
Yeah, while there have been some issues for the Giants, the defense has remained pretty solid. Just 13 errors this year, third fewest in the National League. They've made some pretty good plays over the weekend. Stroud settles in. First pitch off speed in for a strike. Stroud hit his 6th home run in yesterday's ball game. Ended up going 2 for 4 with a home run and a single. 333 average, 15 RBIs, and 6 doubles as well.
Go after 88 and 89 mile an hour fastball. Starts on the first base side of the pitching rubber. He's cleaned up his mechanics during the offseason as far as straight over the top more so, more level shoulders, more balance in his delivery.
Foul back.
Well, you remember back in the day, he would reach all the way back and almost hit his knuckles on the dirt behind the rubber before he delivered the baseball. He's trying to really refine his delivery at this point after a lot of innings and a lot of awards. 08 and 09 Cy Young Award winner.
4-time All-Star. 1-2 this season with a 3.27 ERA. Foul back. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. It's just coming right after Trout.
See his balance, really good balance right now. His shoulders are level and then right over the top. Used to have a lot more body parts flying all over the shoulder to the legs, the glove. Front side would open up quicker, but still was able to get in a good throwing position. Obviously, when you win a couple Cy Youngs like they did, no hitters.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 12-game winner last year. 4.74 ERA, 33 games, 26 starts. So he has pitched down to the bullpen. Second career appearance against the Angels. It was here at AT Park. The other was back in 2009. Reaching for this one, bouncer to third. McGee has it, straightens up, fires across the diamond, and the Angels have 2 outs here in the first.
Well, let's take a look at our AT&T Universe Rewind with Albert Pujols coming to the plate now. Earlier on this road trip, pulled up with a cramp. His left hamstring, had to leave, missed a couple games, but then back yesterday. Leaves the ballpark with a home run for Albert Pujols. Feeling real good as far as swinging the bat. Moving around well also. Good to see Albert back in. He's had some good numbers in his career against the Giants. Home run yesterday.
Albert will look at a breaking ball for a strike. He's averaging 210. 4 home runs. 10 runs batted in. 1 for 4 yesterday. Was that home run his 524th of his career. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 up and 2 down for Lincecum here in the first. This one's in the air to shallow right center field. Blanco coming in, not going to get there. It'll fall in for a base hit. Lincecum running that fastball up and in on Albert.
Hyundai key for this game, especially what we saw in the 9th inning. Some better hits, chains. Little Nick Jonas put together some hits. I think at this point right now, better swings. 9th inning, early in the game, relied on the home run ball. But better swings, put it together as far as an offense. Need to do so to allow Weave to relax.
Just work Nick Jonas into the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
I see you.
That's how I roll.
Cole Calhoun at the plate. That cleanup spot once again. And the first one just misses. Cole's at 371 over the last 16 games. Average at 321 on this season. Went for 3 game yesterday. Had a single with an RBI in the 9th inning. 14 runs batted in. He's 3rd on this team in the RBI category. Breeze is first and Trout 2nd. This one bounced over to Paddock. Angels are done here in the first. Led to the bottom of the first inning with no score. Francisco Giants, similar record to that of the Angels with the first 2 wins of this series at 11 and 13. Nori Aoki back in left field. Joe Panik at second. Angel Pagam, the switch hitting center fielder, will bat third. Buster Posey, the cleanup hitter. Brandon Belt at first. Brandon Crawford at short. Casey McGee, the third baseman. Gregor Blanco gets a start in right. And then Tim Lincecum, of course, rounding out that starting 9. Mentioned Weaver looking for his first win of the season. 0-3 and a 5.83 ERA.
Yeah, he had a good solid middle part of the game last time out against Oakland. That's important because I think the keys for him today, like go-tos, use that no-seam fastball, the no-seamer, and elevate only when you need to.
First pitch swinging as Nori Aoki puts one out toward right field, and that one is gone. First pitch swinging. And it is 1-0 San Francisco. Aoki's first of the year.
And exactly what we basically just said for Weave, don't elevate until you need to, especially against Aoki. He loves high fastballs. Got one there. Aggressive. He's always aggressive. First of the season. 7th home run that Weave has allowed this year.
Weaver couldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, he took the throw back from Doug Eddings with his bare hand. The new baseball. Howard misses down and away. Panic pulls it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. The second baseman hitting .282. 5 doubles, a triple, 7 runs batted in.
And that's another high fastball again from Weave. Got to try to remain to keep that ball down.
This one's out to right. Cole pulls up, and this one is going to go out of here as well. Back-to-back home runs for the San Francisco Giants makes it 2-0 here in the first.
Both hitters with their first home run of the season. That's a high breaking ball. Stayed up, stayed back on it. Joe Panic did. You know, to hit a ball far in that part of the ballpark here at AT Park.
Angel Pagan takes a strike. So back-to-back home runs for the Giants here the first. Pagan hitting .347. 6 doubles, a triple, 7 RBIs. He's not homered this year. Weaver gave up 2 home runs in his last start against Oakland. It's Pagan to tap this one up the line, but this one rolls foul.
First inning woes last time out for Weave. After getting a 2-0 lead up in Oakland, gave up 5 in the bottom of the first.
And Pagan hits one out toward right field. Are you kidding me? Cole Calhoun is back. He pulls up. This one is off the fence. Pagan around the second. He'll end up at third. And it's not going well for Jared Weaver, to say the least, to start off this game.
This time a slider. Dropped the head of the bat. Just missed hitting that one out. They're staying back well on off speed, fastballs. At some point for Weaver, he's going to have to make a hitter or so move their feet.
Posey takes that breaking ball upstairs. Cleanup hitter hitting .273. Hit his 4th home run of the year in yesterday's ball game. 11 RBIs. This one's bounced over to third. Freeze will hold Pagan. Throw pulls off the bag, and there's the first out. So Pagan remains at third base, 1 out. Brandon Belt coming up. The triple for Pagan, his 2nd of the season. Infield is in for the Angels. First one is inside. Giavatello, the second baseman, playing very close to Pujols. Pull situation. High bar toward the middle. And it's down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Belt hitting .214. Did not play other than pinch hit in Friday night's game. And 0 for 4 yesterday as the first baseman. Posey got the start at first on Friday. 3 balls, no strikes. Brandon Crawford, who homered yesterday, on deck. Back-to-back home runs for the Giants. Weaver trying to limit it just to that. Pass over to Pujols. 2 outs.
An opportunity right now for Weaver, even though he gave up back-to-back home runs. I just like what Albert did. Rate it when he threw that ball back to Weaver. Give him let's go thing. If you get through this inning with no more damage and back-to-back home runs and a triple, only give up 2 runs, well, your team's got a shot. And that's what you have to have, that mindset when you're on the mound right now. If I can get through this and limit this damage, especially after a no-out triple after 2 home runs, we got a shot in this game.
Crawford will look at a strike. Giant shortstop. Homered yesterday. It was his 5th of the year, hitting .240. Takes low. Backhanded by Ionetta. Now the 1-1. Good off-speed pitch. One ball, two strikes. 2-0 Giants here in the first. Gone over at third base. Crawford strikes out swinging, so Weaver does settle down after giving up 3 straight hits, 2 of which left the building. We'll head to the second. Halos trailing. Lincecum. Line a 2-out single to Pujols. Nothing more in the first. David will take that fastball upstairs. Freese hitting .226. 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game yesterday. The RBI single in the 9th inning. Third consecutive game in which the Angels have trailed. Two 1-run losses. Breaking ball upstairs.
See what kind of momentum the offense can generate now after Weaver got through that inning with no more damage. Man on third, no outs. Did not allow him to score.
The tapper at the plate. It's up to count at 2-2. He's 0 for 3 in his career against Lincecum. Halos has a team coming batting .229. 14th in the American League. 13th in slugging, 13th in on-base percentage. Yet to get it going up and down the lineup. Chopper left side. McGee has it go off his glove. That ball kind of skipped down. Crawford stayed with it with Freese going down the line. Nice effort by the Giant shortstop, but David will reach.
He does have a very good throwing arm. And Freese realized that he's got to get down that line as quick as he can. Take advantage of a mistake. We haven't seen the Giants make many mistakes, whether on the mound, at the plate, or in the field in this series so far, but that's one of them. Strong throwing arm.
Yeah, no doubt. McGee, not a whole lot of range for it, but it looked like that ball may have skipped at the last second and stayed down on him. He gets charged with an error.
Shift on. It's Matt Joyce, who hit a ball extremely well that ended the game off of Taylor Featherson yesterday. A couple good swings late. And a good swing there.
Matt's batting average of 147. 1 for 4 yesterday as he takes a strike 0-2. He got credited with the base hit yesterday's ball game, that ninth inning hit, the ball that hit Featherston. Featherston called down for interference, but Joyce gets credited with a hit. Everyone was asked about it after the ball game as to whether or not Panic, the second baseman, would have had it. It looked like it. Replay reviews that the ball was going right to the second baseman, who was playing out shallow right. Pretty much where he had played every time Joyce was up.
You just never know when that ball was hit as hard as it was in that outfield grass, how it's going to skip. There's nothing Taylor can do with that one.
Chopper toward the middle. Crawford lays back on it, touches the bag, fires to first, and Bell digs it out. Nifty double play turned by Crawford. 2 outs.
And very good shortstop. The right decision, steps on the base just as he does so. He throws the baseball to complete a 6-3 double play. That strong arm he has on display in this inning.
First one to Giavatello down low. Johnny hitting .300, 3 doubles, a home run, 10 RBIs. Had an 0-for-3 game yesterday. Angels managed 6 hits, 4 of which came in the 9th inning. Tim Hudson picked up the win after Santiago took the loss. And leaving up the count at 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Let's give him a first-round pick in 2006, 10th overall selection that year. Ground ball to short. Crawford busy this inning. Angels are down here in the second. Went to the bottom of the second with San Francisco leading at 2-0. The first inning, and Weaver, after giving up the triple to Pagan, settled down, retired the next 3 guys. His last start, remember, against the A's, gave 5 runs on 4 hits. The next 6 innings, he allowed 1 run on 2 hits. So you hope that he's able to settle down here and give the Angels offense an opportunity.
Yeah, this inning's huge for Weaver. Get that confidence going. He was able to get through that last inning with a man on third with no outs to not allow him to score. So if we build on that momentum, need to, especially the way the club has been swinging the bat up here against the Giants pitchers.
Casey McGee, Gregor Blanco, and Tim Lincecum. The second for the Giants. McGee hitting an even 200. 3-hit game yesterday, going 3 for 4. He drives one out to center field. That ball's hit pretty well. Mike Trout moving back and just in front of the wall will make the catch.
Again, another elevated pitch. Another high fastball from Weaver. Granted, he's not a sinker ball pitcher. But a number of these fastballs right down the heart of the plate, just above the belt. Trout able to track it down right in front of the wall.
Leadoff man retired. Gregor Blanco at the plate, getting to start today in right field. Replacing Justin Maxwell. Good speed for Blanco. 229 average this year. A couple of triples himself. Freeze playing in on the grass at third as Blanco takes low. 2 balls, no strikes. A little more wind today than what we've seen the first 2 games. Cool afternoon. Joe Walk. Off the end of the bat. Good on-speed pitch. Giavotella has it. Ball has a lot of spin going to Giavotella. Hey, folks, on Tuesday, come celebrate Cinco de Mayo when the Angels take on the Mariners at 7:05. Fans of the tennis will receive a sombrero courtesy of State Farm. An attempt to set another Guinness World Record. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
Seattle in town. 3 against them and then 4 against the Astros.
Yeah.
Who had an early 6-1 lead against Seattle, but Seattle has tied it up 6-6 in the 7th in Houston.
Oakland and Texas 0-0. That game in the 5th. Let's go cues it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's go this year 0 for 6.
A career 110 hitter. Just under that, 109.
And homestands got 3 against Seattle, 4 against Houston, then off day a week from tomorrow for a quick 2-game set against the Colorado Rockies. Here's the 1-2. Let's go. Fouls it back. Ground ball foul.
One thing to keep in mind for Weaver is the hitters, the opponents, know that he's around the strike zone. He has not walked a batter in his last 3 starts. So he's around the strike zone. So they're going to be up there hacking early like we've seen already in this game. So every once in a while you got to make them uncomfortable at the plate if you can, if you're Weaver, especially when everyone knows you're a strike thrower.
2-2, back up the middle, and it's a base hit for Lincecum. So a 2-out single allowed by Weaver, and it'll spin the lineup to the top. Noriaoki coming up. He saw 1 pitch his first time up.
Fastball over the plate, right back up the middle, almost able to catch Weaver.
Aoki and Panic going back to back in the first inning. It's the 3rd time in franchise history the first 2 hitters homered against the Angels. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the Angels have been fantastic in interleague play, especially under Mike Scioscia, but the Angels have struggled against the Giants. 11-16, including 6-10 here at AT&T Park.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Weaver's been real good at National League parks also. ERA 1.93. Only loss, he combined it to have a no-hitter and lost against the Dodgers. Went 6 innings in that game. Jose Arredondo finished it up with 2 hitless innings.
Trying to get him to chase that off-speed pitch, a full count, so Lincecum will get a head start from first base with 2 outs here. A 2-0 Giants lead here in the second. Three-2 in the air to center. A little bit more towards left center field. Trout's there. That'll end it for the Giants. 2 in the books. 2-0 San Francisco.
Ram trucks. Last year, Game 7 of the World Series. Joe Panik, nice play up the middle, flips it over to Crawford to be able to turn a 4-6-3 double play that originally with Hosmer at the head first dive. The first was ruled safe and overturned. Great double play by Panik to Crawford.
Eight, 9, and 1 for the Angels. That means Weaver leading things off here the second inning. There we look at the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Weaver in his career 4 for 34. That's a 118 average. Gets a breaking ball. 1-2. All 4 of his hits singles. He does have 1 RBI. 1-2. Fastball got him, and there's the first out. First punch out for Lincecum in this game.
Yeah, every out he's recorded so far has been a result of a ground ball. Reason why Mike Scioscia had switched this around to have Iannetta hitting in the 9th spot to give Mike Trout an opportunity to have more potential base runners on for him to drive them home.
Tough stretch for Chris Iannetta to start the season. He's batting in the 9th spot today, hitting .086. 1 double, 1 RBI. Takes just off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Ivor on deck. 3-0. Caught the inside corner. Foul back.
And ended with good numbers in his career against Lincecum. 400, 6 for 15, including a home run, 4 RBI.
Chris has got great numbers here in this ballpark throughout his career. He's just been a completely different guy so far to start the season. I think he's got the highest career OPS for any active player in this ballpark.
Known as a pitcher's ballpark, too.
3-2 on the way. Now the fouls it off to the right.
Well, back in 07, the average fastball velocity for Tim Lincecum was 94.2 miles per hour. This season, 87.3. So difference in the velocity of the fastball for Lincecum, but still has had a pitch.
Check swing foul. Watch out. Boy, that got into the seats in a hurry. Hopefully it didn't hit anybody. Just to the left of the Angels dugout on that first base side. Apparently the young fan's been hit.
There's a lot of kids who are here today.
A lot of kids here at Little League Day. Difficult anytime they're down by the field, especially when there's a battered place going on. (3-2) fouled off to the right. Iannetta's career OPS in this ballpark at 1.176, best all time by any visiting player, minimum of 75 plate appearances. 3-2, Sky to left. Aoki was playing deep. Has to come in. Puts it away for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down, and Eric Ivor coming to the plate. Eric jumped on the first pitch he saw in the first inning and grounded out to Brandon Belt. Did a nice job smothering the baseball, feeding it to Lincecum.
And that's a pitch right there where when Chris Iannetta is seeing the ball well and hitting well, he'll be all over that pitch. That was more of a backup curveball on the inner half of the plate. Just got underneath it.
1 ball, no strikes.
What we mean by a backup curveball, usually by design with a right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, you want that ball to go away, down and away. This pitch backed up a window on the inner half of the plate and becomes more hittable, and he got away with it.
They've talked about Weaver becoming a more of a finesse guy because of lack of velocity. Lincecum's had to go through that change as well, although he's still can touch 90 on occasion. But he's become a much different pitcher. He's a guy that has the 2 best seasons strikeout wise in San Francisco Giants history since '58. We're talking a lot of punch outs. Crawford deep to the hole, off balance throw, not going to get eyeball. Belt alertly coming off the bag. Now it goes an infield base hit.
When Mike Trout come into play, let's take a look at her. Now it's time for Pillows Never Stop Improving. Mike Trout this year batting average .333, on base percentage .441, slugging percentage over .600. Last year solid start also. The on base percentage and slugging percentage much better through 24 games this season. Use that slugging percentage right now.
right-handed batters have hit Lincecum extremely well. Pointed that out to start the game. 385 coming into this game.
Trout looks at the strike.
And you can run on Lincecum. He's about a 1.45 to 1.5 to the plate. He's allowed 172 stolen bases in 209 attempts. It's only 18% as a base stealer being caught when he's on the mound.
Ivar with a pretty big lead over at first as Trout shoots one out to center. Moving back on it is Pagan. Still going back. You see the carry today. Trout went down and got that one. Hits it right to Pagan. Handles it down. We'll head to the bottom of the third. 2-0 San Francisco. Nine-game stand. 3 against Seattle, 4 against Houston, 2 against the Rockies. Then it's off to the East Coast. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston for returning back home. Before you know it, be in June.
It's incredible.
2-0 Giants. Third inning. Panic, Pagan, and Posey. 2, 3, and 4 for San Francisco as Weaver delivers a strike. Joe Panic homered in the first inning. The back-to-back home runs to start this ball game. It's the 4th time the Giants have ever started a game with back-to-back home runs, and the last time was May 27th, 1964. That was against the St. Louis Cardinals. Guess who was on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals?
Can't be Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
Wow.
Yep. Chuck Hiller and Duke Snider. Didn't Chuck Hiller, is that the same Chuck Hiller became a pitching coach for the Kansas City Royals?
Sounds right. Is that the only runs Gibson gave up all year?
This one's out towards center field. Trout played on a couple of hops, and it's a leadoff single for Panic, his second hit. 1964. Of course, that was the year the Cardinals eventually won it all. That the Phillies should have won. But they folded down the stretch. Gene Mock.
Not listening.
Hey, man, I grew up with all those stories. My dad was part of that team. So
I know.
The infamous 64 Phillies.
We went with a 2-man rotation that last 10 games of the year.
Pagan takes outside. He tripled off the wall in right center field. Second triple of the year. Two balls, no strikes. called a strike on the outside corner.
See if this catches the corner. Looked like it just ran off. Change up just off the outside corner. We got the call. It looked like he was going. Good count for action. 2-1 count. Panic was leaning. Weaver with 21 career pickoffs has allowed 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts this year.
Tried to go back there. Heck, if he got the call the previous time from Doug Eddings, why not try to see if he'll call it another time? It's 3 balls and a strike now. Panic takes off, a ground ball to Pujols, takes it himself. 1 down. Panic ends up at second. Hey folks, the Halos take on the Astros Friday at 7:05. The first 20,000 adults in attendance will receive a Mother's Day tote courtesy of Farmer John. Purchase tickets at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com. That is Mother's Day weekend beginning next Friday. 1 out, 1 on for Buster Posey. Grounded out his first time up. Chuck Keller was a hitting coach with Whitey Herzog. Number of different places. I was going to say, that's a pretty interesting transition to go from being a second baseman in your playing career to becoming a pitching coach.
Well, although if you get hit, you know exactly what the pitcher's trying to throw up, and you know what to hit against him.
Wasn't Dave Duncan?
Yeah, he's one of the
catcher,
best.
Right?
Yeah, one of the best pitching coaches that the game has ever seen. Very successful as far as turning around some pitchers. From Dave Stewart on fourth was the catcher.
Yeah. Turned
into a great pitching coach.
One pitch. And it's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. 5 hits for San Francisco. Posey with a man in scoring position here. Giants yesterday 2 for 6 with men in scoring position. They're 4 for 13 in the series. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mitch Reinhardt does a lot of great things for us down in the truck. Gave me a great little nugget here after talking about Bob Gibson giving up those back-to-back home runs to start a game at 64. He says, well, in about 4 years, we can all expect Jared Weaver to win a Cy Young with a 1.12 ERA then.
We'll take that.
Yeah, that'd be unbelievable. Ground ball toward the middle. That'll sneak through. Panic was moving back to the bag, and he will be stopped at third. Not a very good read by the young middle infielder.
Yeah, even if Eric Ibar's in position to make the play, he's going to have to go to his glove side. That'll be a long throw back to third. You got to be going right away. As soon as this ball is on the ground to that part of the infield, you have to be going towards third. It's a break. You're still only now a double play away from avoiding any more damage done. I'm sure Buster Posey was real happy about that also. That's an RBI.
No doubt. Maybe it helps the Angels and you get Belt to ground into a inning-ending double play. This is grounded past Giavatella, knocks it down, flips it to Ibar for one. It's the only play they're going to get. And the run scores. It's 3-0. They got the ground ball, but a heck of a play by Giavatella to get the second out.
And if he's able to come up with that ball, which hits so hard, there's going to be a double play ball.
Just to get it out.
Yes. Ball was scorched. Knocks it down. And gets the out at second, though. That ball was hit that hard. You have a chance at a double play.
Belt reaches on the fielder's choice, picks up his 6th RBI. 3-0 now San Fran. And Crawford steps in. The only strikeout Weaver's picked up today has been Crawford. That was in the first inning. Thrown 3 straight off-speed pitches, and why not start him off with another?
Still remember that year for Gibson. What was, he said his ERA was 1.12?
68.
Yeah, he lost. Did he lose like 10 games that year?
May have.
It was like, just off the top of my head, I think he was like 26 and 10 or so.
0-1 pitch. It's up and in. (22-9).
So he lost 9 games. How do you lose 9 games with a 1.12 ERA?
I don't know. He had 13 shutouts in 34 starts.
Took it upon himself to win a game.
Yeah,
then.
he allowed a run. That was the problem. Crawford takes low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball missed outside. 3 balls and a strike. 68, of course, the year of the pitcher. The year that Denham Clain won 31 games for the Tigers.
That's when the mound was lowered. The next year, right?
69. McLean followed up with 24 wins.
See, if they would have kept the normal height of the mound, he might have won 32.
Bell takes off. The pitch is outside. It's a walk. The first one issued by Weaver.
57 pitches now thrown for Weave. Story is a walk. He's at 33 strikes, 24 out of the strikes. That's his first walk now. This will be his 4th game. He's only had 1 game in which he had walks, and that was against Kansas City when he walked 4 in the 2nd start of the year. Other than that, his other 4 starts, not a single walk.
Casey McGee, fly ball to deep center field to second. He's over 1. Runners at first and second. Swing and a miss. Looks like the Angels might start some action down in their bullpen. Now looking at McLean's numbers, he won 92 games in a span of 6 years. 16, 20, 17, 31, and 24. 5 years, partner.
It's a pretty good run. Yeah. Almost like Sandy Koufax.
Miss 1 and 2.
Although I don't think anybody had a better run than Sandy Koufax in that short period of time.
This is in case the inning blows up. Otherwise, Weaver will come back out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is popped up in the infield. Giamatella comes racing in. Ibar calls him off. And that'll do it. San Francisco tacks on a run. We've played 3 here in San Francisco, and the Angels are down 3-0. Top of the fourth inning. Down 3-0. Tim Lincecum, 1 strikeout, no walks, and 2 hits allowed. Lincecum has not faced more than 4 batters in any one inning. Pujols singled out to right center field in the first. Bouncer foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Upstairs trying to get him to chase. 47 pitches thrown by Lincecum. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, first 2 seasons in the big leagues, full seasons. Sharply hit, but you talk about positioning. The panic is there, 1 out.
And now it's time for a T-Mobile game changer with Cole Calhoun coming to the plate. .405 batting average in his last 11 games, including 9 RBI. On base percentage of .490. Also with 4 RBI, hitting cleanup in his last 3 games for Cole.
Albert seems to be all right. Do you see this remaining this way? Lineup, Cole in cleanup spot, or do you put Cole back in the leadoff spot?
I think you put him back in the leadoff spot. I know he's been productive in the cleanup spot here, but get him that extra at bat, get somebody on base consistently for Trout and Pujols.
Strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Cole grounded out his first time up. I mean, when you consider the struggles this team has had through the first 24 games offensively, that they continue to try to do whatever it takes to manufacture some runs. As Cole grounds with a short 2-away. Angels have scored 3 runs or fewer in 14 of their first 24 games this year.
And Mike Scioscia's always talking about linking those good at-bats together in a lineup, trying to find that continuity in a lineup where they can score runs.
Yep.
But he hasn't found that lineup so far.
And right now it's that mix too, Mark, where you look at a lineup that's not scoring runs, a rotation that really is not holding things down. I mean, the rotation's at 8-10 on the year with a 4.09 ERA.
I talked to Scioscia about that, even about the offense today. He's concerned. There's no question about that. But he's also more concerned about the length of the games he's getting out of his starters, averaging less than 6 innings a start. We're around 5 2/3 innings. That means he's got to get a lot of work out of his bullpen. And some of these games from the starters have not allowed them to do things offensively because you're behind in games.
Santiago yesterday went 5 innings. Wilson threw 7 in the open game of the series.
Old up and in fastball and an 0-2 count.
Freeze goes down swinging. The Angels go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. San Francisco still leading it.
better. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
3-0 Giants lead it. Bottom of the fourth inning. 8-9-1 coming up to face Jared Weaver.
Old Alcatraz.
Gregor Blanco, the right fielder, leading things off.
I'll be ready for a potential drag bunt down the first base line.
Blanco shoots one out to left field. Joyce moving back on it at the wall will make the catch.
That ball carried very well. Matt Joyce looking up, the same thing. Right in front of the wall, the other way. Blanco with no home runs this season, but gave it a ride the other way.
It's trouble in Houston.
Certainly at Fenway Park also.
Yeah.
Next road trip, you get to see that. Pitcher's yard.
1-0 count on Lincecum, who singled up the middle. Houston, by the way, ended up winning 10 consecutive victory for the Astros. They swept the Seattle Mariners, a 4-game set.
But they hit 5 home runs yesterday.
Yeah. Hank Conger got into the mix.
Hit it right-handed.
Right-handed. Yep. And none of them, maybe one. Valbuenas was somewhat of a wall scraper. This one toward the middle, and Giovatello can't get it. Johnny may have kind of rolled that left wrist underneath him. Hopefully he's all right. Lincecum with a 2-hit game.
Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. That base hit by Lincecum. This gets by Giovatello. Weaver with some outstanding numbers in interleague play. Top career records. 16-4. Only Verlander with the better record at 25-3. Burley with 29 wins and 10 losses. It's covering over 25 or more starts. Weaver very, very good in interleague play.
Norioka looks at a strike. Left fielder, 1 for 2. Home run in the first inning, his first of the year, and a fly ball to center in the second. This is a Ramos back out bullpen getting ready. Oakey bounces this one to second. Giovatello dive bar for one. The relay back is in time. Inning-ending double play. 4 complete here in San Francisco. Giants leading at 3-0. Weaver coming up. Hey, after every Ducks playoff game, Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket bring you complete postgame coverage. Tonight, the Ducks look to take Game 2 against the Calgary Flames at the Honda Center. After the game, switch to Prime Ticket as the Ducks live crew breaks down the game.
Frenchie.
Ducks live crew. That's like a rap crew from the 80s or something.
No doubt.
Two live
the way
crew.
they've been playing. A lot of smiles for the Ducks.
Matt Joyce to a double play his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
Frederick Anderson is his dealing in the net for the Ducks.
One ball, one strike. Ramos is going to go back out and warm up, so that means Weaver might be done after 4 innings.
Especially if you get a couple guys on base potentially. It looked like I saw Mike Butcher motioning to Ramos to sit down, but then all of a sudden he's back down there to the bullpen. Could depend on if there's any offensive action in this inning.
This one down the left field line toward foul territory. Nothing McGee could do. That ball almost.
I know, where was Aoki? He was just going to say, "I'll give you a triple."
No kidding. And with the overshift on, Crawford's playing behind second base, so the shortstop's got no chance of getting there.
And I watched batting practice last couple of days. When it's hit high with the wind, it pushes it back in play down the third baseline, and that almost landed fair.
2 balls and 2 strikes now. Joyce goes down swinging. They stay down and away from him. 1 out. 3rd strike out of the afternoon for Lincecum. '67 pitches so far today. 4 innings, 7 hits. Back-to-back home runs allowed in the first and allowed a run in the third. Taylor check swing foul. Nice play by Weaver in the on-deck circle, but barehand that one.
Well, Lincecum's done a nice job as far as pitching in enough to allow him to throw his fastball away. He sinks his fastball quite a bit more so nowadays than he did when he first came up. Well liked by his teammates, high energy guy from the Washington area. You would think he'd be a grunge guy, but no, he loves the Beatles.
Going old school.
Yeah.
University of Washington. Givitella shoots one down the right field line. Blanco giving chase, and it goes foul.
Boy, prior to the game today for Lincecum, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the order have combined to hit almost 500, 10 for 23 against them. But so far in this game, though, it's not allowed to hit to the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Only allowed 2 period in the game so far. 1 to Pujols and 1 to Ibar.
Check swing. Did not go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lincecum drafted in that first round in 2006. Pretty good draft. Think about it. It was the year that Luke Hochevar went #1 overall at the University of Tennessee. Royals took him. Evan Longoria was 3rd. Clayton Kershaw's 7th overall pick that year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lincecum went 10th overall, and Max Scherzer right behind him, 11th.
Some pretty good arms in that draft.
Yeah. Angels took Hank Conger with the 25th pick. That was a comp pick too. You know why that was a comp pick? Can you remember? It's from the Cleveland Indians.
I don't remember that one.
Paul Byrd signing with the Indians.
He had a solid career.
Yeah. This one pulled toward third. McGee's got it. 2 outs. Well struck by Johnny G, but right to Casey McGee for the 2nd out of the inning.
Fought off some tough pitches. Eventually got one of those mistakes, hit it on the line, but right at a defender. McGee at third base.
At 06 draft, the Dodgers had to pick right behind the Angels. And it was the Angels' comp pick for having signed Jeff Weaver.
It's good information.
Yeah, the comp picks are gone now. As far as,
I remember that.
Type A, Type B's, Type C's.
I was that type of pick also when Darryl Porter left Kansas City for St. Louis.
You were that pick, huh?
The late one, yes.
Weaver shoots one down the right field line. Gregor Blanco reaches over, and he got it. He did. Not an easy play with that short wall over there and that bullpen mound. And for the second consecutive inning, the Angels go down in order. We will head to the bottom of the fifth with San Francisco still leading it. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. Weaver to face Panic, Pagan, and Posey. The three P's here in the fifth inning. One strikeout, one walk. 7 hits allowed for Weaver.
Four of the 7 hits amongst these 3 batters facing Weaver this inning.
Panic cues it foul. He's 2 for 2. A home run and a single. He's also scored 2 runs.
Start him off with a good changeup, well located changeup.
No balls, 2 strikes.
In a sequence, changeup, slider, now curveball to Panic from Weaver. You would think try to paint a fastball away now if you're Weave. And with the changeup away.
It would seem to be the right pitch with a guy like Panic. Young guy, aggressive at the plate. Already with a couple of hits. Takes a call, strike 3.
Finally, we've seen that no-seam fastball. Great location from Weaver with that one.
Locked him up.
See a little town action back in and catching the inside corner. Talked about that being one of the go-tos for him today. Hasn't thrown many of them. That was a well-located no-seam fastball from Weaver.
Pagan 1 for 2 with a triple and a ground out. And while Jared has allowed 3 runs through 4 1/3, did calm things down very quickly in the first inning. At least has given his team an opportunity to try to climb back into this one. The Angels have yet to get a man to second base. They've had 3 base runners. That's it this game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 hits and an error.
They really have faced 3 very similar right-handed pitchers this entire series, where you would think as a hitter you would feel comfortable at the plate. All 3 of them not overpowering, sinker type pitchers.
Pujols to the backhand, Weaver covering, and retire for God for the second out.
No Bumgarner in this series, so he didn't have that power lefty. So very similar, all 3 hitters, and that's what you would like to see as a hitter. Pitchers that are very similar as far as their sinking fastballs down in the strike zone, change speeds, but still have not really put any good swings against any one of them. That's why managers like to split up similar type pitchers in rotations.
Buster Posey 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. 1 ball, 1 strike. One or two. You mentioned the 3 similar pitchers, all 3. The ball dude Rich just couldn't get to that one. But all 3 have done the exact same thing. They've made an adjustment to try to change anything against the Angels offense. As a matter of fact, the Angels have struggled this year as far as kind of keeping an inning going. They've sat down in order quite a bit this year as Posey takes low. 2 balls, 2 strikes coming into the game. 84 times the Angels been retired. 1, 2, 3. It's tied for worst in Major League Baseball with the Pirates. 21 times on this road trip and 13 times in this series.
I was telling Mike Krukow that he's a color analyst for the Giants, and he was shocked to see that and hear that. I'm still looking for that continuity in the offense. You're getting to see some good swings at the top of the order and Giavitello at the bottom of the order, but in between not.
2 out base hit. And what compounds the issue at times, especially with the way things have gone for the Angels this year offensively, is that because some guys are pressing, they're not being as selective as maybe they have been in their past. So therefore, they're not seeing a lot of pitches. They're not drawing walks. The on-base percentage overall as a team is down, and so you're not getting the opportunity to at least put a man on with 1 out or 2 outs, and maybe create a little stress on the offensive side, so that you don't go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is an unfortunate set of circumstances for the Angels. Bell gets into this one out toward right center field and into the corner, and that is a double.
Fortunate that it bounces in.
He hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. It stays in the yard. That means Posey has to go back to third base.
Yeah, that's that no-seam fastball that stayed true and straight at 81 miles an hour. And Belt hits that one extremely well and one-hops it into the stands. Fortunate enough, be able to keep that run from scoring. So far as he hit it, Posey's going to score easily on that base, on that double by Belt. And back to your point, still the on-base percentage under 300 for the Angels so far this year.
Crawford swinging a miss. I mean, even Iannetta, when the hits haven't fallen for him in his career, he's been a guy that knows the zone. I mean, he's been second on this team in on-base percentage behind Mike Trout the last 2 seasons because of that.
And the hitters are working hard. trying to get back their swings, which they've had in the past.
Good fastball on the inside part of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes on Crawford, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk.
And the most difficult thing to do as a hitter when you're pressing, because you expand your strike zone, like you said, you're always looking and hoping to get a fastball at that point. So then you're guessing at the plate. You're squeezing the bat too hard, so you're not allowing your wrist to go through the baseball easier and use the middle of the field.
Crawford hooks this one into right field. Cole giving chase. He thought about diving for it. It gets past him. 2 runs will come in. Crawford into second with a 2 RBI double. And the Halos are down 5-0. A 2-out rally by San Francisco here in the 5th. Looked like Cole for a second was trying to time it and was going to lay out for it, but decided not to.
Yeah, Crawford just went down and got that changeup. Third double of the year for Crawford.
10 hits allowed by Weaver. Chopper to short. He retired, inning over. 2 more runs come in for San Francisco. 5 in the books. The Angels have 9-1-2 coming up, down 5-0. Brought to you by the 2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimate 31 highway miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. And by AT Uverse, more live TV channels on the go than cable. 5-0 San Francisco. Chris Inetta leading things off. He fouls one back behind the plate. Posey giving it a look, and it goes right off the top of the backstop. So no play.
They just gave it a courtesy look and almost came back into play.
Mentioned the other night, not a whole lot of room here behind home plate. Let's go with 3 punch outs, no walks, 2 hits allowed. Inetta fly ball to left field, his first time up. Cesar Ramos getting ready. Weaver's done after 5 innings, it appears. And has pulled left and a base hit. Inetta picks up a single to lead off the 6th. Snaps a string of 7 straight retired by Lincecum.
And that's one thing you've said quite a bit of late. 7 straight, 10 straight. That split finger fastball stayed up in the zone, and Inetta with a base hit against Lincecum. Now 7 for 17 against them.
Ibar takes low. First hit for Ivan since nice homestand against Oakland. Ivar 1 for 2, a single into third. Trout on deck. Downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lays off. Thought about it.
Good hitters count here for Eric.
And he draws the walk. First one issued by the Giants right-hander.
See the frustration for Weave in between innings. So you're trying to give him some encouragement, but that's tough. Weaver's one of the most competitive pitchers you're ever going to see. See the frustration after that inning. Going right back up to the clubhouse. Unlikely done. 5 innings pitched. This the location again, especially to start the game.
Two on and nobody out. Looks like there's some action going to get started here for the Giants in their bullpen. Lincecum's thrown 77 pitches so far. First time today that the Angels have had multiple base runners on board. Inet at second, Ivar at first, and Ivar with a huge lead at first base. Trout 0 for 2. Ground ball to third and a fly ball to center.
4 starts so far this year for Lincecum, averaging under 6 innings a start.
George Contos, a righty. Javier Lopez, the lefty for San Francisco, getting ready. They have not pitched in this series. 1-1. Trout swinging a miss 1-2.
He had a pitch drive. He challenged him with a 1-1 fastball at 87. A little bit of sink action on it, but really right down the middle of the plate.
Out towards center field. Pagan will make the catch. Snow cone style look like. The ball moved in the glove there. 1 out. Runners could not advance.
A little smile. He could smile now, but that baseball almost came out of his glove. He knew he had it all the way. Played it off well anyhow.
Pools 1 for 2. It's a breaking ball for a strike.
Boy, 1 swing in the bat though by Pujols can get the Angels right back in the game. Notice when he's going up and in, he did that to Freeze. He's come back with a split finger fastball after it. And we've seen a number of times this year and throughout his career with Albert Pujols, never a good idea to go up and in against him.
Had to pitch a rip right there.
He had a hack, and he's frustrated on that one. He thought he had a pitch to drive. Boy, did he have a pitch to do some damage.
Iannetta leading off the 6th inning with a base hit. Ibar with a walk. Trying to fly ball to center. 1 out. 1-2 now. Ground ball toward the middle. Panic to his left hand, and he'll throw to first. They'll get Pujols. Round number 2.
That's when you see, because Albert's still dealing with that hamstring issue, Panic was able to gather himself in the outfield grass and make a strong throw to get Pujols at first. That baseball was on the shortstop side of the base at second, where Panic fielded and threw it across the field to be able to get Pujols.
So 2 outs, and here's Cole, 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Giants in the bottom of the 6th will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Ramos will be pitching. As Cole fouls this one off the left. 0-2 count. No runs, 3 hits, 2 left on for the Angels. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on for San Francisco. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. 7 pitches now thrown by Lincecum, 59 of which have been strikes. Sunny but breezy, cool day here in San Francisco. One-two. Cole hits one out towards center field. Pagan breaks back now to his right. And the Angels get the first 2 man on here in the 6th inning and leave them stranded. Well, at the bottom of the 6th, Giants still lead it. Done after 5 innings, 5 runs all earned, 10 hits allowed by Weaver, including the 2 home runs to start the game. Cesar Ramos taking over on the mound. 10 games, a 1-0 record, a 1.35 ERA. Facing Gregor Blanco to lead things off. Blanco, right fielder, 0 for 2. Ground ball to second and a fly ball to left. Givatello, first, one away. Hey folks, this Mother's Day, treat mom to a memorable brunch at the Big A on Sunday. Enjoy a pregame brunch in the Music Garden and watch the Halos take on the Astros at 12:35. For more info and to purchase tickets, go to angels.com/promotions.
That's perfect.
You're going to do it, aren't you?
Tote bag, scarf, and then brunch.
I would assume that you've got to pay for the brunch, though. So you got the free tote, the free scarf.
Maybe get a discount, though, with our...
have to get those alligator arms of yours and reach for the wallet.
There you go.
Let's give him a big rip. Comes up empty. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. What's up, T-Rex? Finals across Major League Baseball. Mentioned Houston defeating Seattle for their 10th consecutive win. Detroit salvaged one of their 4-game series against Kansas City. 6-4. Oh, pardon me, they split that series. Kansas City did. Minnesota beat Chicago 13-3. I think the White Sox.
They're really
4
struggling.
errors.
Yes.
In that game.
Minnesota over 500 themselves right now.
They started at 1-6.
They really start all slow. Lincecum with 2 hits in this game. This is his 4th career multi-hit game. And the White Sox, a lot of people talked about being a serious contender in that division to start off extremely slow.
And Ramos being very tentative here with Lincecum. Full count. Orioles on deck. Cleveland beat Toronto 10-7. Fighting Phils beat the Fish 6-2.
They were down that game early. Fightings.
And a walk to Lincecum. He's been on board all 3 times.
That's a frustrated look from Mike Scioscia.
Because it's unacceptable is what it is.
Exactly.
Noriaoki at the plate, 1 for 3, homered back in the first. Did ground into a double play in the 4th inning. Giants had themselves a 2-out rally in the 5th inning. Weaver's last. And that hits Aoki. So now you got 2 on with 1 out.
See how Aoki driving and striding out over the plate, unable to get away from that fastball inside. He's one of what we would say a diver out over the plate. Always going to be susceptible to a fastball inside.
Second hit batter for Ramos this year. Joe Panik will bat with 1 out, runners at first and second. 2 for 3 game for Panik, a home run and a single. He's also struck out. Outfield shading Panic slightly the opposite way. This one out toward Cole. Not very deep, so Calhoun has to come in. And he drops the ball. Has a play at second, though. And a force out for the second out.
There will be no error. This will be a fielder's choice on the ball. Took his eye off the baseball to heel the glove. But reacted quick enough, and nice play by Eric Ibar to get back to second base.
That's all it was, just taking the eye off, looking ahead to a potential throw to third. So first and third, 2 outs. And Angel Pagan up. Pagan 1 for 3 game, tripled in the first inning. First time he's hit from the right side.
Oh yeah, 15 triples back in 2012.
One-0. Chopper to the right side. Long run for Giavotella. Knocks it down from his knees. Throws the first. They got him. What a play by Johnny Giavotella.
He has shown tremendous range both to the glove side and the backhand this entire season. Great defensive play by Giavotella to prevent the Giants from scoring any more runs to that outfield grass and throwing out a good base runner down the line. First pitch of the game from Weaver hits one out to right field. And Joe Panic gets a breaking ball, elevated, hits it out, and then a triple eventually off the wall by Pagan in the first inning. But Weaver was able to slow down that damage in that inning. But back-to-back home runs to start the game for the Giants. Joe Panic's had a pretty good game. That man always has a good game against the Angels.
Freeze bouncing the first pitch to Crawford. 1 down. Starts 7th. We bring up Matt Joyce. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 3 hits allowed for Lincecum. Joyce a double play ball in the second, a punch out in the 5th. First pitch breaking ball for strike. 90th pitch of the afternoon for Lincecum. Three hits allowed by Lincecum, all three singles. Angels for the first time in the ball game. A man in a scoring position in the 6th inning. First and second with nobody out, but then Lincecum retired Trout, Pujols, and Calhoun.
Well, Lincecum's done a nice job as far as mixing and matching. His fastball's been about 87 to 89 range. Pitching inside and out with his fastball. There's enough fastballs in to keep the hitters honest, and his good curveball and split finger fastball, slider have avoided the middle of the plate.
Down goes Joyce. You know what? You go back to Friday night with Chris Heston, hit Tim Hudson yesterday, and Lincecum today. I can't, maybe on my one hand, how many 3-ball counts those guys had in this series combined. I mean, throwing strikes, getting ahead. Now you're dealing, of course, with an overly aggressive Angels team that's kind of trying to push the envelope a little bit, but they've taken advantage of it.
Trust me, when you're going through a scouting report as a pitching staff against your opponent, that's what the scouts are conveying to you as a staff. They're being aggressive. They're swinging the pitches out of the strike zone because they're pressing. And that's what you got to try to do, exploit that as a pitching staff, and they have.
Vitello lining one out to right. Blanco is playing shallow, and boy, Johnny's hit the ball hard twice, but right to guys. The Angels go down in order. 7th inning stretch time, 5-0 Giants. AT Park. finale of this 3-game set. Taylor Featherston takes over at second base. Double switch for Mike Scioscia. Featherston will bat in the 8th spot. Now the pitcher spot in the 7 hole. That's Alvarez on relief of Cesar Ramos. Ramos, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 hit batter, but no runs allowed. Alvarez pitching in his 10th ball game now, 0-1 at a 4.91 ERA. Been a while since Jose has pitched. Matter of fact, a week ago. 2 innings. Took the loss in that 5-4 game to Texas. Buster Posey looks at a strike. Posey, Belt, and Crawford for San Francisco here in the 7th. One ball, 1 strike. Posey, a couple of hits today. And it was Posey that started off the rally for San Francisco in the 5th with 2 outs. Weaver struck out Paddock and Pagano ground out. Thus the 2 outs. There was a little off-speed pitch. And Buster just flicked out to left field. Started the rally. Eventually led to the 2 runs. This one's lined to Pujols softly for the first out.
Yeah, we talked about that on the first game of the series, how the couple of faces of baseball with Buster Posey and Mike Trout, and they both have done their part in the series. Posey with a home run, Trout with a home run in this series.
Joyce turned around a little bit, makes the catch on the track. 2 outs. Be sure to follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. You can get anything and everything having to do with baseball, including radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Crawford 1 for 2. Doubled home 2 runs in the 5th inning. 3rd double of the year. Now with 14 runs batted in. Had some momentum rolling into this series, even though the Thursday game in Oakland obviously was a lot closer than it needed to be. 6-5 victory, but a victory and a series win nonetheless. Run into a Giants team that starters have pitched well. They got some timely hits, whereas the Angels really haven't.
Yeah, this Giant lineup coming into this series averaged exactly 3 runs per game.
And less here.
He felt real comfortable in this series. If you're the Angels.
2.6 runs a game at home. Crawford goes down swinging a 1-2-3 inning for Alvarez. Well, into the 8th. 8-9-1 coming up for the Halos.
Not a strong game for your Halos this Sunday, but join Jose Mota and I right after the game for Angels Eyes as we'll take a look back at this series as Jared Weaver's struggles continue on the mound and try to figure out what's going on with this Angels offense on the road. So don't miss Angels Live right after the game right here on Fox Sports West. Victor?
Thanks, Alex. Here in the 8th inning, Taylor Featherston, Chris Iannetta, Eric Ibar to face Tim Lincecum. He's gone 7 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Been extremely impressive.
One ball, 1 strike. Taylor picked up his first big league hit the other day against Oakland. 1 for 8 on the season.
Lincecum part of all 3 of these World Championship clubs. A couple years ago, very important out of the bullpen.
McGee, off balance throw against Featherston for the first down.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. Chains basically linking that offensive group together has not been the case once again here against the Giants. All 3 games, the offense has struggled. Last night yesterday in that 9th inning, you thought they were finally putting together. The Socios Club again offensively have been struggling. Just 3 hits.
I think it was last inning. Talking about 3-ball counts for the starters for the Giants, and I mentioned that probably on one hand I can count them. It's actually a total of 8 3-ball counts by the 3 starters, and Heston had 4 of them on Friday night, Hudson 2 yesterday, and Lincecum so far today just 2.
Well, what comes into play with that? That's not a lot of stress on a starting staff when you have just 8 3-ball counts the entire series. What it tells you is the hitters are aggressive. They don't want to be put in situations where they have to deal with secondary pitches. They're looking for fastballs early on. You have a tendency to do that as a hitter when you're struggling.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And then a 1 for 2, a base hit the left in the 6th inning. Lincecum has retired, I should say, 7 in a row since walking Ibar to put runners at 1st and 2nd, leading off the 6th. Full count. Ibar on deck. Jose Ambrose will be back down for the bottom of the 8th. So retiring to sign an order in the 7th. Out toward left center field. Towering shot. Going back are Pagan and Aoki, and it's Pagan making the grab for the 2nd out.
That lead like you have here late in the game, you can challenge a hitter, and Iannetta hit it well, but Pagan able to run it down. Pitch count now for Lincecum, more than likely his last inning. He had 1 complete game shutout last year.
Ibar hits one out towards center field. Pagan going back on it. And the Angels go down in order once again. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. San Francisco leading at 5-0. The bottom of the 8th. 1-2-3 inning for Jose in the 7th. He'll face McGee, Blanco, then the pitcher spot. And they might send Tim Lincecum back out to the mound. He's gone 8. Allowed 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. Nobody's warming up for the Giants now. Casey McGee 0 for 3. Take outside.
I think you might be right. You might see Lincecum go back out to take the mound in the 9th inning. You know, a lot of times we talk about pitch counts, but it's been relatively stress-free 8 innings so far for Lincecum, so you might see indeed him out there.
This will pop to shallow left center field. Trout moving in. Calls off Joyce, 1 out.
Sometimes you could be taxed on the mound when you're throwing 85 to 90. Although there is some movement down.
Yeah.
Maybe they gave him the option and asked Tim Lincecum if he can go back out, but more likely now it looks like that won't be the case.
It's 1 complete game last year, and then of course the no-hitter. It's the Padres on June 25th.
One no-hitter he threw. Didn't he throw like 140 or 150 pitches?
The year before, wasn't it?
Yes, against San Diego. Little different lineup for the Padres this year, though. They're scoring some runs.
148 pitches.
Just a few.
This is back toward the middle. Featherston has it. Blanco out number 2. 4 walks in that no-no against the Padres.
And your attention, please. For San Francisco, pitching for Tim Lincecum.
Those are his only 2 complete games in the last couple seasons.
So if you're going to have one, you might as well throw a no-hitter.
Might as well go no-no on him. There's Joaquin Arias pinch hitting for the pitcher spot. Arias has been a nice bench player for Bruce Bochy and the Giants. Originally a Yankee in their system. 286 this year. Fouled off into the seats.
Look how quickly in the stands, too. We saw that earlier in the game.
Arias was a guy that the Rangers ended up taking with Alfonso Soriano in the Alex Rodriguez deal. But before that deal was consummated, obviously they agreed on Soriano, the player coming back. This was fouled back to the right. The Rangers had a choice. Teams give you a list of players, and what it boiled down to was either Joaquin Arias or some kid named Robinson Cano.
Don't you know?
The Rangers took Joaquin Arias with Soriano in exchange for Alex Rodriguez, and Robbie Cano, as you know, has gone on to a pretty good career.
Seeing him tomorrow. What a great hitter he is.
Swing and a miss. 6 up, 6 down for Alvarez. A good outing for him. We head to the 9th. Halos have the middle part of the order coming up, down 5-0. save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the ninth inning, 5-0 San Francisco. Trout, Pujols, Calhoun due up for the Halos here. New pitcher on a relief for Bruce Bochy on the Giants. It's right-hander Gene Machi. Pitching his second time against the Angels this weekend series. He pitched Friday night in 2/3 of an inning and allowed a hit.
Machi fastball 91-96, slider, and solid split finger fastball.
First pitch outside. Trout 0 for 3. A ground out, 2 fly balls to center. Fouled back and off the screen. He was up the count at 1-1. Tim Lincecum today, 8 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. In line for his second win of the season. This one down the right field line, slicing at a play.
We certainly have lucked into some real good weather up here this whole time.
Yep.
Up in the Bay Area, from 3 in Oakland, now 3 here in San Francisco.
One-two. Trout went around the breaking ball. And there's the first out here of the ninth.
Great location in that all-speed pitch. Swing and miss. Frustrations today from the Angels, both obviously from Weave on the mound, but also on the offensive side from the hitters.
Albert 1 for 3 with a base hit back in the first. That's 10 in a row, by the way, retired now by Giants pitchers. They missed by a bunch.
Going to have their hands full tomorrow night, too, at the Big A. Felix Hernandez on the mound for Seattle.
Matt Shoemaker on the hill for the Angels. Angels Live will kick things off at 6:30. James Paxton, the lefty, and Garrett Richards will lock horns on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday, it's Roenis Elias, Cuban lefty, going up against C.J. Wilson.
Shoemaker with real good career numbers against Seattle, 3-0 with a 2.39 ERA against the Mariners for Matt Shoemaker.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Cole Calhoun on deck. Giants with 2 in the first, back-to-back home runs by Aoki and Panic. They got 1 in the third, an RBI fielder's choice by Brandon Belt. And the 2 out, 2 RBI double by Brandon Crawford in the 5th. Quick pitch action. 2 outs. Remember, you don't have to come set with nobody on base. Machi kind of looking at her Pujols, I should say, looking back at Machi.
Well, you're throwing the timing off a hitter. Paxton has struggled so far this year for Seattle. Richards told me this again today. He's starting to feel real comfortable on the mound. That should be a fun pitching matchup, game 2.
Cole takes downstairs. 0 for 3 today. 2 ground outs and a fly ball to center. Two balls, no strikes. Three and out now. Be very careful with Cole here in a 5-0 lead in the ninth.
Well, he's a pitching coach and a manager. You don't want to see that. You want to see your pitcher be aggressive, challenge a hitter. You're up by 5.
4-pitch walk,
especially with 2 outs.
David Freese now will bat. Oh for 3 today. It's dropped David's batting average to 219 on the season. Cole will take second on a difference. Chi misses outside, or pardon me, inside. So 6 out of the strike zone to retire the first 2 on strikeouts.
Might force Rigetti to move out towards that mound at some point. 16 years as the pitching coach for the Giants.
Halos on the verge of falling 3 games under 500. A loss today. 3-0.
That's 7 in a row.
The dreaded 2-out walk. Borderline strike. 3-1. Bouncer to short. Crawford has it. Over the belt. The Angels drop the finale of this 3-game set, getting shut out today. 5-0 as they get swept here in San Francisco.
No, just 11-17 against the Giants overall. 6-11 in this ballpark. Tim Lincecum was outstanding. The offense early on. Aoki with a home run. Joe Panik back-to-back to lead the game off against Weaver. And for a team that has been struggling with the bat, they've looked pretty solid in this 3-game series, and their pitching was outstanding. Another well-pitched game by a starter from the Giants.
Yeah, the Halos managed just 3 hits on the afternoon, just could not get anything going. As the Giants got it started early on, they never looked back. 5-0. Halos get shut out. Stick around. Angels Live post game is coming up next.